Shane van Gisbergen finally snapped. After being taken out for the second week in a row, Shane van Gisbergen publicly called out Austin Hill with a comment that instantly exploded across the NASCAR world. And the most shocking part? This wasn't after a heated argument. It wasn't after a confrontation on pit road. It came after another race-ending crash that left both Shane van Gisbergen and Connor Zilisch furious. Now fans are asking one question: has Austin Hill crossed the line? And when you hear exactly what Shane van Gisbergen said, and why this latest wreck may have changed everything between these two drivers, you'll understand why Sonoma suddenly became one of the most anticipated races of the season. So make sure you stay all the way to the end. The story actually starts before San Diego. Because for Shane van Gisbergen, this wasn't just about one crash. Just 1 week earlier at Pocono, SVG was caught in a multi-car incident that also involved Austin Hill. At the time, many viewed it as hard racing. Others blamed Austin Hill for forcing the issue in a situation that quickly ran out of space. Either way, the result was the same. Another frustrating day for Shane van Gisbergen. Fast forward to San Diego, a track that many believed was one of Shane van Gisbergen's best opportunities to score a huge result. The road course specialist started from the pole position. Trackhouse racing looked fast. Connor Zilisch looked fast. And as the race progressed, both Red Bull-backed Trackhouse cars appeared capable of fighting near the front. But then came the restart that changed everything. On lap 32, the field charged toward turn 1. Connor Zilisch and Austin Hill were battling at the front. SVG was directly behind them. As they entered the corner, Austin Hill locked the rear brakes and missed the apex. The number 33 car slid up the track. Connor Zilisch was forced into the wall. Austin Hill hit the wall himself, and in a split second, there was nowhere for Shane van Gisbergen to go. The result was a massive pileup. Several cars were damaged. The crash was so severe that NASCAR had to stop the race and repair the wall. For SVG and Connor Zilisch, the day was essentially over. Two of the strongest road course contenders were suddenly out of contention. Immediately after the wreck, emotions were clearly running high. Shane van Gisbergen climbed from his damaged car visibly frustrated. When reporters later asked him about the incident, he didn't have much to say. In fact, he simply told them to ask the other guys. That alone showed how disappointed he was. Because anyone who has followed SVG knows he usually isn't afraid to speak his mind. But a few days later, after having time to reflect on everything, he finally opened up during a recap video on his YouTube channel. And that's when the headline-making comment arrived. SVG said, "Still pretty shitty after the weekend." Then he added, 2 weeks in a row taken out by the same Spud." That one sentence immediately spread across NASCAR media, because there was no confusion about who he was talking about: Austin Hill. The frustration wasn't just about San Diego. It was about 2 consecutive weeks ending in disappointment. And from Shane van Gisbergen's perspective, the same driver was at the center of both incidents. What's interesting is that Shane van Gisbergen didn't spend the entire interview blaming Austin Hill. In fact, he also admitted his own race hadn't started particularly well. He explained that he struggled early and wasn't especially competitive during the opening stages. But as the race progressed, things began improving. The car started coming alive. The speed was getting better, and he genuinely felt they were working their way back into contention. That's what made the crash hurt even more. According to SVG, potentially, we were back in the race, and unfortunately got taken out. Then he added, "So yeah, that sucked. Pretty gutted. Everyone is." Those comments reveal the bigger issue. This wasn't simply a bad finish, It was another missed opportunity at a track where Trackhouse believed they could compete for a win, and the disappointment extended beyond just Shane. Connor Zilisch was equally frustrated. The young driver had led laps for the first time in his Cup Series career. He looked like a legitimate threat. Then everything disappeared in one corner. After the crash, Connor Zilisch said he felt he had given Austin Hill plenty of room. When asked whether it was simply a racing incident, he responded, "It was a little more egregious than that." So both Trackhouse drivers left San Diego feeling like a huge opportunity had slipped away. Meanwhile, Austin Hill immediately accepted responsibility for the mistake. Over team radio, Austin Hill admitted, "Sorry guys, locked up the rear brakes." That admission removed much of the debate regarding what triggered the crash. The lockup started the chain reaction. The problem for Austin Hill is that even when a mistake is accidental, timing matters. And because SVG had already been caught in another incident involving Austin Hill just 1 week earlier, this latest wreck carried far more emotional weight. Now the focus shifts to Sonoma, and that's where this story becomes even more interesting. These two drivers aren't strangers. They've had tense moments before. Many fans still remember their aggressive battles on road courses. There's already history between them. Now add Shane Van Gisbergen's same Spud comment. Add 2 consecutive weeks of frustration. Add a playoff battle becoming increasingly important. And suddenly everyone is watching to see what happens when these drivers share the track again. The good news for Shane Van Gisbergen is that Sonoma is one of his strongest venues. It's a place where he has enjoyed success, a place where many believe he immediately becomes one of the favorites. And after what happened in San Diego, redemption is exactly what he's looking for. During the same video, SVG made it clear that the team is focused on moving forward. He talked about resetting mentally, spending time with Red Bull, and preparing for the next challenge. Because ultimately, that's all he can do. The frustration is real. The disappointment is real. But the season isn't over. In fact, Sonoma may provide the perfect opportunity to turn the momentum back in his favor. The question now is simple. Was San Diego just an unfortunate racing mistake? Or is this rivalry between Shane Van Gisbergen and Austin Hill becoming one of NASCAR's most compelling storylines? We'll find out soon enough. And if Sonoma delivers another chapter, don't expect NASCAR fans to look away. If you think SVG had every right to be furious after what happened in San Diego, let me know in the comments. Was it simply a racing mistake, or does Austin Hill deserve the blame? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to NASCAR Nation News for more NASCAR updates.